sure.
Hold on. Let me just, so today, we're going to start looking at some pictures. And because I forgot my tripod for the camera, and I don't want to mess up what I have sitting here, I'm not going to move the camera around a lot right now. So we're going to go through pictures, and I'll hold them up to the camera. And meanwhile, you can look at my hands making interesting shapes. Okay, so...
Okay. So we're having lunch here, dinner here one time. I used to invite my brothers for dinner on Sundays twice a year. And your dad was a Republican. Talked about Gary Francis at the family picnic. You know, Gary was drunk at the time, pretty much. And so your dad says at the table, and I'm sitting there, Vic is sitting here, and your dad's sitting there, Anita and Pat, whatever. Aunt Jean, whatever. So Pete says, you know, that Gary Burrows, he said that George Bush is an asshole. And I said to him, you don't talk about the president of the United States that way. And Vic starts to say something, and I kick him under the table. Don't go there. Because I don't like politics at my table. So afterwards, we're in the kitchen, and Vic says, I saw you give me that ma look. And he said, so I shut up. But he is an asshole. But this is the ma look. And I don't know what Dorothy did to her, but you could see that Grandma is not a happy person.
The ma look.
The ma look.
For reference, because God knows, you know, when someone might be looking at this video, but today in the United States of America, wouldn't it be interesting to hear the political dialogue right now that we have a sitting president inciting people to come to Washington, D.C. and for everybody to fight the results of his loss. So we are in crazy times. We get probably a lot of ma looks right now.
You want to know why he's scared? The state of New York is after his ass.
I know. And there are millions of people that actually believe that he is the second coming of Jesus. And I actually saw real people are saying, and he, you know, and God, he's on the side of righteousness, and God will protect him, and he will be our president for the next 4 years and hopefully more. And I'm like, do you realize what you're saying?
No, they don't.
They don't care about the Constitution anyway. We're not going to talk too much politics. Oops. I'm not going to talk a lot of politics. We're going to start looking at wonderful pictures.
This is 1957.
Okay.
I was living in Turkey at the time, and I came home. It was Grandma and Grandpa's 40th wedding anniversary. Oh. And we had this big party for them. And I came home because I was going to be the only kid that wasn't here if I didn't come home.
Yeah.
So there's no picture of me dancing with Grandma because I was the fucking bartender.
One of your, but that's also what you were excellent at when you were in the service. So.
Yes, I was.
Okay, are we done with this page? Are we ready to move on?
Yeah, we can move on.
Okay. Let's see what we got next. Okay.
Oh, that's Grandma and Grandpa and all their grandkids.
Okay, so what's in this I'm aiming on this very first top right picture.
Okay, that's Leo and Aurelia's children.
Okay, can you point at them? Who's who?
That's Pete and Jimmy, Dad, Bud, Vic, and George.
The boys.
The boys.
Okay, we don't need to point to everyone in this picture, but this is the...
Those are the grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when Grandma got up from that, she turned around and looked and said, you know what she said to my dad?
What?
Look what we did.
Ha ha. And let me just look at that for a sec. Were we?
Everybody was in there.
Yeah. And this was still in, what did you say, 50 what?
57.
Yeah, so it's whoever was already born at that time. We had a lot more later. I know Grandma ended up with 24 grandchildren.
Yep.
So.
And 24 great-grandchildren.
Was I thinking no, just grandchildren. Probably more than that.
And then there's my brothers, each one taking a turn dancing with Grandma.
These are really sweet pictures. We've got Bud, Vic,
and Jimmy,
and Jim. Really cute. And then we have
the twins, Jimmy and Jeannie.
Yeah.
So mother and her son, her brothers.
Oh, okay. And you want to point out who's who in this?
Let me see. This is Uncle Lee, Dad, Uncle Andy, Mom, and Uncle Jake. Look at that Jake. He looks like a real shyster. You know, he really was.
Let's look at the shyster. Yeah. Okay, Grandma and her brothers. And
She was older than all of them. That's her favorite brother, Lee. They were really like,
which age was he? The next youngest, or was he the youngest?
He was 11 years younger than she was.
Okay.
And then Andy was 13 years younger. And that's her godson, Father Jake.
Who's his parent?
Pearl and Jake Smith.
Okay. Oh, okay. So he's Jake's.
He was the
only
retreat
kid, right?
master. He was the retreat master at Notre Dame for many years.
And what we got here is that Uncle Ray and Aunt Dorothy.
Yeah.
Bottom one.
And their kids.
Yeah. Bros family as of 1957. Okay. Okay, so we're going through all the different families here.
Right,
So as of 1957, the Vic and Joan family. They continued after that.
And the Jim and Dorothy family, that's Joey.
That's all that they had so far.
And the Pete and Anita family with Nick and Connie.
Just two. Okay, what do we got here? We got
That's
all the kids.
all of us, I guess.
Oh, there's only 6. So Aunt Jeannie isn't in this picture, right? Is that Aunt Dorothy?
Yeah.
Okay, so was Aunt Jeannie not there?
No, she was there. I don't know why she wasn't in the picture.
Oh, maybe she took the picture.
No, we had a photographer.
Oh, okay. Who's in this middle one? I can't. It's hard for me to see.
That's Bud and Jane Fellons, Jeannie's girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
And that's Vic and Joan at the bottom.
That's actually a really sweet picture of them.
Well, you know, Vic was always shit-faced.
Vic and Joan is to be different than the rest of the family.
Well,
The Osborn family knows how to party. Don't let anyone ever say otherwise.
that's Jim and Dorothy dancing.
They know how to party. They know how to have a party, and often, and in a family of people who are the last to leave, it makes the family parties
go forever.
interesting. Yeah. Well, there's Aunt Jeannie, right? Is that Aunt Jean or no?
Oh, that's Aunt Dorothy.
Oh, that's Aunt Dorothy. They did look a lot alike, though, in some pictures. Okay, and then, okay, do you want to, but you can maybe give me a little background before I put that one up there.
I don't know who this is. I don't know.
Well, what is this all about? This says, oh, we can't unfold that. Something about something. Anyway, very nicely for the family plate and such other trash, but something more durable and theft-defying. A man's home is his castle and his cellar.
I used to put those articles in the newspaper.
Is that Grandpa?
Where?
This looks like Grandpa.
That's Grandpa.
So
This
we don't know what that was for, but
That was something taken for work.
okay. That's interesting.
But there's a bunch of women down here, and I don't know who
And
they
then this picture, we don't know.
are. That picture, see that big guy? It's a huge guy
Try
there.
not to get I got light on here that's,
It's a huge guy. I don't know who the hell he is, but
oh yeah.
it's a big man, Mountain Dean. Some kind of relative to somebody.
Really?
Yeah.
Electrify, it says in the background, so it's Jesus, that guy is big. I
Isn't
hope
he?
that comes across in here, but my goodness. That's crazy. Okay, and then this bottom picture,
I don't know, there's some women there. I don't know who they
we
are.
don't know. We don't know. Oh, that was sideways. They both, that went like this. In case anybody knows who those people are, we don't. Okay.
All right, let me see what
Who's
we got
this
going here. This is, I don't know, somebody's army buddies.
It's kind of
This is
fading.
Jack Bros. This is Grandma Osborn, Dad's mother.
Okay, so
I think those are her sisters, but I'm not sure.
we're not sure about this picture. I said this one.
This is Dad's ship in the Navy.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so is he in that picture? But we can't tell because it's kind of faded.
Can't tell.
Could be some of his army people. Yeah. What's the little tiny picture in the middle? This one. Up here.
Oh, that's Dad on the buckboard. He worked for a hardware store. He was 13 years old when that picture was taken.
Oh, wow. That's cool. All right, and then this last one on the top is, wait, it goes this way. Who are they? You said Grandma's...
Those are Grandma's sisters, I do believe.
Oh. Grandma's sisters?
Grandma Osborn's sisters.
Grandma...
Dad's mother's sisters.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. And is...
They're either her sisters or her aunts.
Okay.
This is my grandmother's family here. These hillbilly looking folks.
Okay. So it's your dad's mother's family.
Yeah.
So the aunts and uncles and whatnot.
Yeah. They had some kind of gathering, and probably in Kansas someplace.
And do you know where your grandma is in here?
I do. Where are you?
Is she here? No, she's one of the kids.
Well, maybe I think that's her right there.
Okay. So let it be noted that she
because
is...
she wasn't all that tall, and she always wore her hair straight back.
That one.
Yeah.
Okay. And these two pictures do we know what this is?
That's Grandpa. He worked for the hardware store.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's the one that he said is Grandpa on a buckboard working for the hardware store.
He's 13 years old there.
At 13, yeah. That's pretty cool. We don't know. What's this top one?
The top one is Dad's ship, the USS Louisiana.
Okay.
Steaming to port. That's his ship.
So this is his ship, and this is who?
That's Mother and Aunt Helen, and I don't know who that other one is.
Okay.
And this is Uncle Pete.
Okay, hang on. Okay, this one is Grandma, or Uncle George's mom, and Aunt Helen, and someone we don't know. This is Grandpa's ship. And then this picture...
And it's Uncle Peter.
Wait, am I doing this right? No,
Yeah.
It's like this. Gosh, the light. Shoot. I'm getting a lot of reflection on that, but that's Uncle Pete. So that's Grandma's brother Pete.
Older brother.
The one who was in the car accident with Grandpa. Okay. And then over here...
This is Grandma Smith with Uncle Andrew.
Ooh.
And this is...
Grandma Smith with Uncle Andrew right here. How cool is that?
This is Aurelia. Sailor suits were very popular in those days.
Aurelia, back in the day.
Yeah, about 1917.
Nice.
And this is Grandma Smith. Oh, this is funny.
Okay. Okay.
This is when Grandpa got out of the Navy. This is Grandma Smith. That's Grandpa. That's Grandma. That's Aunt Helen. This is Helen's husband, and I don't know who this dorky is.
Okay, so what he just said was going from right to left backwards of who all those people are. But Grandma and Helen.
Grandpa. Grandpa was a cute little guy.
Yeah, he was. When you say little, though, was he short or was he tall?
He was 5'7".
So he was reasonable.
But he was wiry, you know.
Yeah.
Grandpa never was chubby.
See, he wasn't as short as Uncle Bud. Uncle Bud was
no.
petite. Okay, look at Grandma. Which baby is that?
Leota.
Okay, so there's Grandma and Leota. Let me just get that up there real quick because that is so cute. Grandma and Leota. Okay, and then this next one.
Those are all pictures of Grandma and Leota.
Okay, look at how cute. What a sweet picture if I can get it without all that lighting.
And you can see how
little
she's with like my
bunny.
uncles. This is Uncle Pete with Leota. Grandma with Leota. She was
What
a
about
favorite
this?
little child.
What's
That's
this one?
Grandma with Leota.
Looks like if I'm further away, the lighting isn't as bad. Nice. Okay.
She died when she was 6 months old, I think. This is, I think, my mother and grandmother. Let me look. Yeah, that's Aurelia and Emma. This is a picnic somewhere. I
Oh,
don't know.
she's pregnant?
She could be, because she had those young boys. They were
You
11.
don't see this very often. Here's a picture of
Grandma with her pregnant mother.
pregnant. Wow. Wow. Okay, and
This is a picnic someplace, and I don't know. I think this is, oh, look, this is
I'll take actual stills of all of these.
Aurelia. This is Aurelia.
Oh my God, I love that picture.
This is Uncle Pete. This is how age. This is Uncle Andy and Uncle Lee.
Wow.
And these are the kids on this toboggan slide.
Okay, but look at this beautiful picture of Grandma. I love that. And her character in there. And then that middle one is the boys. And with Pete, with her brother Pete as the tall one. And then this one, it's kind of hard to see because of the lighting, but that's kids. Again, I will do stills of all of these. Love that.
I have a close-up of this.
And it's like a satiny
Yeah.
dress.
And look at her hat.
Yeah, she was schmancy. I wonder what that was for.
Okay, this is Oklahoma.
Okay.
This is my dad and his mother.
Okay.
This is Grandma, my mother, at my grandmother's
Visiting
house.
them.
Yeah, they went, when he got out of the Navy, then they went to Oklahoma because she did not know her in-laws. She never met them.
So is this Grandma and Grandpa and his mom?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we have, here we have Grandpa Osborn's mom and dad. And then a picture of Grandma. And then a picture of Grandma and Grandpa and Grandpa's mom. It's really sweet. And then over here, this will be really hard to see on the video, but
That's Grandma Smith with some chickens.
okay.
Okay, this is the family. This is Jim, Vic, Jeannie, Dorothy, Bud, and Jim. Grandma took a lot of pictures of us when we were kids.
Wait, you didn't mention Pete, so you may have said someone twice, and there's 6 of
Then
them.
maybe this must be Pete.
Okay. This is the family before the caboose came along. And
It's
That's
interesting.
kinda hard
Little
to
girls
see
always wore
a
dresses.
shot of
They did
that.
not wear. They didn't wear overalls.
these other pictures are too hard to show on there
Yeah.
anyway. They're very faded.
Now, Grandma took these pictures in Darrow Avenue. There were no flashes,
Okay.
so she just took them in regular sunlight in the apartment.
This has to be Aunt Dorothy because it looks
it.
like a picture of Susie.
That's Aunt Dorothy, and this is Aunt Dorothy and Uncle Bud.
Well, let me just do those two first. So here we have Aunt Dorothy and Uncle Bud, and then here we have Aunt Dorothy, which, like I said, that looks like a picture of a picture of little Susie. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, and then
Okay.
This-
Those are pictures of the twins, and this is the picture of the twins on the pony.
okay, the twins, Jim and Jean. That's really some cute pictures of them.
And then this is Jimmy and Jeannie. This is Dorothy and Bud. And this is Dorothy and Bud. This is in the yard over here where the garage is.
So we have Jim and Jean, Dorothy and Bud, Dorothy and Bud.
Yeah.
Hopefully these come out visible. It's kind of hard to see. Okay.
Okay, this is,
Who's this?
that's Dorothy and Bud. Dorothy and Bud and Vic. Everybody without me.
Okay. So hopefully we can get hopefully I can get where the light isn't. That's the problem with these really dark ones, is that the reflections are bad. But this
That's
is
Dorothy and Bud.
Bud.
And that's Dorothy and Bud and Vic. And then it's the whole family except for me. Because that's 1935. That's the year I was
Family
born.
minus the
That's the
police.
yard over here where the swimming pool is. See how many
And it
neighbors-
says 1935 on it. So,
See how many-
oh, this is, okay, which way are we looking? So
We're
this is the
looking that way.
backyard looking toward where
This-
the pool is now.
Yeah.
Wow, so that's what it was like. You always said that. It was like
No neighbors.
no neighbors and also just trees and stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then this is going to Oklahoma.
But you can kind of see, wow, so where where the flagpole is became part of the pool yard, right?
No, the flagpole was in front of the pool yard.
So it's where the flagpole always was. So this is the pool now.
Yeah.
That's a good point of reference. The flagpole is still there. Okay, and here,
That's
1936,
when
we
they
have.
crossed the Mississippi River.
So I know we have other pictures of this
And this is,
day, but this is kind of hard to see. But I want to get that in there.
and
This
then you can
is
see
everybody except
this.
Uncle
This
Peter.
was the front porch. It was open.
Oh, let me see. I'm aiming it wrong. Oh, wow. Wow, you don't see this very often. Okay, what's this, the middle one? This is the house before the front porch was closed off. Shit. I'm trying, when I'm looking up at the video, I
Yeah.
can see when there's bad lighting on it. There, let's see, that's good. And you can see the door and the stairs and everything and the outdoor porch. So that's how it was when they first moved in, right? Wow, that's pretty cool to me
For
anyway.
years it was open, and they had a swing from the ceiling. Big,
And this is, I don't know if I can catch this without the,
I don't know. I have to look at it
Reflections.
carefully. That's the
can't see
kids.
it very well. Some
That's
of
the kids on Madison Street. That's
Okay, so
that's
neighbors.
Bolo's house on the corner. And then see, there were no houses.
Is there a second picture behind here? What's behind here?
Could be. Yeah.
Well, actually, now we can see it better. So this is, oh, it says on the back, Jean, George, Dorothy, Bud, Vic, and Pete. Huh. Still has reflections, but anyway. And then this is just another picture of
Taken at the same time.
them. Yeah. The family out in front of the house in 1937. That's awesome. Okay. And are these pictures from Grandpa's camera?
Yes.
Okay.
Aunt Jeannie.
So all of these pictures with the dark,
She wrote that. Jeannie.
it says 1939.
When she was incapacitated, she went through a lot of pictures and had them reprinted. But the negatives were so old.
Okay, so these were printed from the negatives.
Yeah.
So they did the best that they could at
Yeah.
the time.
Here's Grandma. And that's your dad.
Oh my
And
goodness.
Jimmy, I think.
So that's Grandma. And we're thinking Jimmy and Pete. And that middle picture, Hunk, who's that?
That's Pete and the twins.
Okay.
And then this is Dorothy and Bud over here. When Bud graduated from grammar school.
That's not the same dress Grandma had on that was all
No.
shimmery.
No. Here, you can see here. Look,
I'm going the wrong way.
this is Grandma in the backyard.
With the chickens.
This is where the garage is now.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This middle picture is where the garage was.
And then that's the goose. They had a goose. I don't know what they ever did with it, but they had a goose.
My guess eventually
It got
became
eaten.
dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can
Wow.
see
This is somebody sledding in this.
Oh, Dad made a toboggan slide up here for them. You see here,
Wow.
this house is still there.
Okay, so that's a house.
That was David's house. It's still there.
Okay. And is it on this side of the street
It's
or
on
the other
this.
side?
It's on this side of the street on the corner of Warren Avenue and East End Avenue.
Yeah. Oh. Hey, Grandma.
This is Wabi Lake. Aunt Marg had a cabin at Wabi Lake. That's Dorothy and George.
Let me just do this. This is the family?
Let me see.
Hang on, I'm gonna show a picture.
Yeah, that's in
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. That's in Oklahoma.
That's an Oklahoma picture. Oh, somebody's in their little bathing beauty.
And that's Aunt Dorothy and Uncle George.
Aw. Aunt Dorothy and Uncle George.
That's Wabi Lake. Aunt Marg's
Wow.
cottage.
Oops. 1939. Wow.
This is
Wait.
when Uncle Jake and Aunt Pearl bought that cabin that
Look
Aunt
at this
Dorothy
cute
and Uncle
picture
Ray.
of Grandma.
Yeah. This is the cabin that Dorothy and Ray ended up with that belonged to Jake and Pearl.
Oh, up in the North Woods.
Yeah. That's when they
Okay.
bought it. That's when they bought it.
Here is the
That's Grandpa, and I don't know who's with them, either Uncle
Lake
Andy.
Crawling Stone, right?
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty cool. And
And that's just over here in the side yard. That's, let me see who that is. Because they're neighborhood kids. Okay, it's Jimmy and Pete, Betty Jean and George and Mary Tully, and Margie Tully and Jeannie and Betty Tully.
so
They
the
lived
neighbors
They lived around the corner on Taft Avenue.
and the boys are in the
The boys,
back, in the
boys
top
in the
back.
back, yeah.
Okay, and is this picture up here also from
That's Wabi Lake. That's the same time as these other ones were taken.
Wabi
Why is
Lake?
my voice
What's
going?
Wabi Lake?
It was
So that's Oklahoma.
No, that's up in Wisconsin. Aunt Margaret, my mother's Aunt Margaret had a cabin up there.
So that's different than the one that's on Crawling Stone.
Yes, that's a different one.
Okay. Are these all pictures from Wabi?
That's Crawling Stone.
Okay. Whoopsie.
I think that's me in the rowboat. Yeah, this is like Crawling Stone, this one.
Okay.
This is,
And is this at the? Oh, these are wonderful. Who's it? Grandma. The girls. This is like a picnic.
yeah, that's Grandma's car.
Grandma's car from back in the day. And a kid.
This is Betty Jean and Mary Tully and Uncle George.
Cool. Okay, and hang on, because we've also got this cool picture.
I think that's either Crawling Stone or Wabi Lake.
This
I'm
is
not
from
sure.
37.
Does it say where it's taken at?
No. But it does.
It
Of course,
could.
what would I know? But it reminds me of Crawling Stone.
It
But
could be
that's just,
Crawling
I've
Stone.
never been to Wabi Lake.
It could be Crawling Stone.
And this you said you think is.
That's
Thought this is
me
Crawling Stone.
and a bunch of us just sitting on the pier at Crawling Stone.
Yeah.
I'm in the forefront.
So that one. This one, oh yeah, this has a pier. Okay, we already looked at that one. Is this, who's this, Aunt Dorothy or Aunt Jean?
That's it, Jeannie.
Aunt Jeannie. I think it's a blurry picture. It's not just me.
Yeah, it's overexposed.
Okay. Ooh, who's this?
That is Uncle Bud in the Boy Scouts.
Wow.
And this is, I have to look, but this is across the street from the Village Hall now. That's Hillside Avenue. And they had some kind of a parade that day.
Oh, wow. Hillside Avenue.
Yeah.
Wow.
We used to go to church there.
And who's holding the flag and everything? This
Let me
looks like
see.
somebody. It looks like one of the uncles.
Yeah, it's either Vic or Bud. That's Jim standing over to the
That's
side.
what I was gonna say. I thought that looked like Jim, the little one.
That's your dad being an altar boy.
So the little one is Uncle Jim, and then someone else, maybe Uncle Bud because he was a scout.
Well, they all were scouts.
But I mean, in this picture, like it's right by.
That's your dad.
Okay. Little Pete is an altar boy. Boy, oh boy. Well then, we're just gonna leave it at that. Okay, who's this Boy Scout?
That's Pete.
Oh, this is Pete. My daddy-o is a Boy Scout. That's actually a really cute picture. Look at his little face.
His nose. You can always tell Pete by his nose.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, because it's wide. Whose nose has he got?
He's got his own, but it's turned up. This is Uncle Jim, and that's Uncle Vic. See,
This is
they
Vic.
were all Boy Scouts. When I was a kid, they didn't have Boy
Okay.
Scouts.
And they had all their uniforms and everything.
Oh,
And
yeah.
which one did you say who is this?
That's Uncle Vic.
I thought this one was Vic.
No, that's Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy. Vic. Awesome. Okay.
And this is
And you didn't get to do that. Everybody else got to do it but the caboose.
That's the addition, the bedroom.
Oh, wow. Okay. This is when they were putting on the
19
big bedroom for everybody,
Yeah,
right?
the boys' dorm, 1941.
Wow.
They put the boys' dorm and the kitchen on at the same time.
And this is the walls of the new part, right?
Yeah.
And what are we looking at here? This
That's
is
the
where
chicken house.
And this is where are we standing on what will become this right out here?
No, this over here.
Okay, so we are looking at where the pool will end up?
No, the pool is over here.
Okay, so this is
the chicken house behind the garage.
so would this right here be this patio here
Kind
eventually?
of right here. This would be
Yeah.
the patio right here.
The upper patio.
Behind the house. And then back here.
So these are the windows looking out of your bedroom right now.
Right.
Okay.
This back here is the garden. The whole garden back.
And this, what you and I are sitting in right now with these windows, is not here yet.
No.
Okay, so you can see it ends where Uncle George and I are now sitting. But that's pretty cool. Okay. Wow.
No, that's Grandma taking pictures.
Now we're shooting forward. Now we're in 1946 here with everybody.
Just like stairs.
Yeah, and they're in order, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we don't have to.
You
run
always
over.
had to stand in order. You couldn't be out of order.
But here was in an era while Uncle Bud was still taller than everybody, which is
Yeah.
telling us a lot about how old everyone was. And this is from 1941, so this is earlier.
This is the beginning of the war. That's Sam Bowles' house over there on the corner.
19. Wow. Do you think this would have been before the war broke out? Wait, it just says 1941, so
Yeah.
it doesn't say when in 1941, but
It's the summertime.
yeah.
The war broke out in the fall.
Yeah, so this was before they had war. And this is how old everybody was when Grandpa tried to go enlist.
Yeah, tried to join
Thinking
the Navy.
about that.
Yeah, tried to join
Sheesh.
the Navy. Grandma said, "No way are you going to go and leave me with all these kids." It's Dorothy at the, I don't know, she's going to a prom or something.
Dorothy. Doesn't say what year it is.
That's over in the driveway. That's by the pear tree, which isn't there anymore.
Okay.
That's Dorothy and Bud. It says on the back what that is.
1941. Dorothy and Bud.
Okay, Dorothy graduated from high school in 1941. Now that's the
So, of the kids, a couple of them were old enough to be responsible. Probably that's what Grandpa was thinking. This has names on the back.
Let me see that. That's just all of us.
This is Dorothy, Bud, Vic,
I'm not in this.
Jeannie, Jim, Pete,
There's just 6 kids here.
and something in his baptism. Was it for your baptism or something?
No, somebody and her babies. The
Where do you
duck,
see that?
evidently.
Oh, the duck. It names on the back, it's got the names of everybody, and then it names the duck and her babies, because look at this, is a bunch of little babies. That's actually cute. Okay, and, oh,
This is just the kids out.
Jean, George, Dorothy, Peter, and Vic. Wait. Jean, George, Dorothy, Peter, Vic in 1938.
In front of Madison Street.
Oh, wow. What house is showing?
Sam Bowles' house on the corner.
Okay. Okay. This is fun.
Grandma
Okay.
took a lot. Now this is
1939.
this,
Oh, this is in front of the
the addition,
again.
and this is over where the flagpole was. That's just too little fadey. Then,
It's these things are the years are just mix and match.
yeah.
So again, another kind of cool picture out by the addition, and this one says, "Notice Bud is as tall as Dorothy now. Another couple of months, and I think he will be taller."
Never happened.
Whoopsie. That's because she didn't know that was the end of it for Bud's height. And then this doesn't have any writing on the back, but what a pretty what a lovely picture of the yard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying that's where the flagpole ended up.
Yeah.
Really pretty. That was 1935. So
See,
no
Grandma.
George.
Grandma's pregnant.
Oh,
That's
so
why
you were
he's-
in the picture.
That's why he's standing in front of her.
That's right. Oh, I'm gonna just show that because you had said that before. Sometimes when my dad was standing in front of her, usually meant she was pregnant. So Uncle George is in the picture. Yeah. He's just. Grandma is hiding him behind her belly, and also Pete. Now this is a little faded, so I don't know if anyone can see some
That's
of
just
those
the family
faces, but
taken in the
it's
side yard.
yeah. Nice picture from 1942.
And these pictures are taken in Michigan. Later on, Grandma and Grandpa would go fishing
Who were they?
with their friends, the Matringas.
Okay, so these are some friends with Grandma.
Yeah. That's Aunt Helen with the hat on.
Oh, okay.
It was her.
Wait, how's Aunt Helen fit in again?
She's Grandma's cousin, and her husband was an alcoholic. And when he dried out, they bought this fishing place in Michigan.
Oh, okay.
And Grandma and Grandpa used to go there in the fall to visit them and to go fishing.
That's a nice picture. Hanging out. So they're friends, but they're cousins. Kind of like Jack and Betty Jean were with you.
Helen is the one, when Grandma had me and she damn near died, she came to take care of everybody. She cooked.
That looks like an old-time barbecue right there.
And my brothers and sisters didn't like her because she was tough.
Was she? Like she wouldn't put up with a lot of
She put up with
nonsense.
shit. She
Did
was
they
like-
have kids?
She was, yeah, they had girls. She was like Uncle George, you don't get second chances.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the Jack Matringa, Grandpa's buddy.
Nice picture.
He had terrible table manners. But they were friends, and they'd come here and they'd play
I'll
bunco.
just show these two like this. I don't need to pull them all out.
My leg is falling asleep.
Uh-oh. from leaning this way.
Yeah.
Well, we're almost done with this, and I think this one album will probably be good for today. We'll pull out another one next time. So, and these are still all pictures from
Yeah,
up
they're
there.
all up there.
All right,
It's
so
all,
just show them this way.
it's all Michigan.
Oh, Michigan. Yes, Michigan.
I was going to say Michigan, Shishigan from Michigan, Shishigan from Shishigan, Michigan, or something like that. Okay, this is at your parents' house in Addison. This is the advent of TV.
Wow. That was in Addison. Nope, it's Mom and Dad at Vic's. Oh, that's at Vic's house. So that's Cal Wagner, right?
Let me see the back of that. No, it's not Mom and Dad at Vic's. It's Mom and Dad at Pete and Anita's.
Okay.
They were the only ones who ever invited my parents for dinner, your mother and father.
Okay.
Doesn't make any difference what it says. Who cares? This is the
And
advent
it's-
of television. You see this here?
What's Grandpa got, a pipe?
Probably a shot glass.
It looks like a little white pipe. Oh, wait, and this picture,
This is the advent of TV.
little family get-together.
Those curtains in that living room were made out of chicken feed sacks.
Oh, so these are some of the curtains that you said Grandma would make.
Yeah, like these. Draw drapes. She made them out of chicken feed sacks.
Look at how tight that room was.
Well, that room was tight, kid.
That was. That looks like a bros get-together.
But that was here on Madison Street.
Yeah, like they came over.
Yeah,
Everybody
come-
used to come over here and visit. And this one?
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but that's my mother's family.
Ah,
That's
okay.
let me look here. This is Jim Smith. That's Uncle Bud. That's Uncle Andy. That's Uncle Jake. That's Aunt Pearl. That's Raymond. That's George. That's Roger. That's Bill Smith. That's Uncle Lee. That's Aunt Edith, and that's Aunt Jean.
And
They
he
used to
just
come
said
here.
them mostly in order, going this way to this way, although he kind of jumped around with these two in the end. But
They used to
get
come
the
here all the
idea.
time on Sundays.
yeah.
Grandma used to
Sunday
feed them
dinner.
all.
Nice. Okay.
Now,
And up here, this is a Christmas picture.
let's see.
We see the Christmas tree.
Yeah, that's Christmas. Everybody was here for
And-
Christmas.
Do we know who any of those
Yeah.
people are?
Sure, I know who they all are. That's Dave Smith. This is Uncle Andy showing off his bald head.
All right, I'm going to turn this a little so that we can see who you're pointing at. Okay.
This is Dave Smith. This is Uncle Andy showing off his bald head. That's Aunt Jean Smith. That's Betty Jean. That's Jim Smith. This is Bill Smith. That's George Osborn, and that's Bud Osborn.
Okay. Okay. And where are these taken? There's a whole bunch of these.
Okay, these are taken in Ponca City. This is my grandmother's front porch.
Wow.
Everybody would sit on the front porch.
Okay, so that's the house that ended up getting torn down, or where
Yeah.
Grandma's
Yeah,
bathtub
this
was.
is, yeah.
And this says Leota, Dad, Dick, and
Mom,
Vera.
this is Mom, Dad, and Vera.
Mom, Dad, and Vera.
Oh, and this is Mamie and Dick, Dad's littlest sister, and her husband with Vera on the porch at Grandma's house. You know,
See them very well.
Oklahoma is so hot, so you just sat out on the porch because there was no breeze or anything, you know.
Okay, now we have a color picture.
Now, you know, that's my mother's brothers, and that was taken in Florida. And I don't know who that lady is that they were visiting, but that's Aunt Jean and Aunt Edith and Uncle Andy and Uncle Lee.
Nice.
And they're visiting that other lady. I don't know who she was.
Somebody had a color
Yeah.
camera.
Oh, this is interesting. This is at Aunt Dorothy's house next door. And this is up in the front yard on this side of the house.
And this one has on the back Dorothy, Jeannie, Jim, Bud, Mom, Vic, Pete, George. Do you have this one? You don't have a big picture of, but it's similar to one you have a big picture of. Okay, this middle picture over here, who are these?
These were taken over in the side yard here.
More pictures in the side yard. That's a nice picture. I like that. And
This
then-
is my grandmother and grandfather Osborn. Grandpa was in bed for 12 years before he died.
Now this is before he was in bed, or when he was in bed, just
He's in
sitting
bed.
up?
He's
Oh,
paralyzed.
So he could sit up.
He could
'cause
sit
he's
up.
sitting up. So he couldn't walk, but he could sit up.
Was paralyzed on his right side.
Grandma and Grandpa.
And they tried to
Osborn.
put him in a wheelchair once, and they dropped him, and he would never let him do it again.
And these are the ones that were in that top in the picture where you got Grandma and Grandpa, his parents, her parents.
Yeah.
So that was, and this is the one where Uncle George always talks about. She had hair, no gray hair, and it was down to her knees. Down to her knees.
And these were just taken over at the Roses. I don't know what the occasion was.
Now this says
Okay.
me, Mom, and Leota.
Yeah, that was taken when Mother and I went to, in 1963, we drove to...
So they must have sent these pictures to her.
I took that.
Oh, well, why does it say me? Who wrote that?
Me, Mamie, and Leota. Oh, Grandma wrote that. Me, Mamie, and
Oh,
Leota.
I thought it said Mommy. Me, Mamie, and Leota.
Yeah. Leota is the blue one.
Okay. That would be,
We were
this
on
one
our
would
way
be
home
Leota.
from Vancouver, Washington. And
Oh, so it's like around her mouth and nose you can kind of see
Yeah.
this shadowy dark.
she wore pink lipstick
Mm.
and pink nail polish.
So, and that was from, she did silver
Silver alum.
alum. Okay, this has writing on the back.
That's everybody. Grandma must have written that.
I'll say it, yeah.
Grandma had this perfect handwriting.
Yeah, she just really did. So it's Mike, Jim, Patty, Matthew, Ray, Mom, Roger, Jeannie. No, I don't know if that says Jeannie. Sue, Barb, Kathy, Gary. The center is Dave, Nick, Rick, Joe, Jack, Bob, Bottom, Vicky, Connie, Fran, Linda, Sandy, Mary. And I may have screwed some of those up, but I think most of us know who's in this picture. Moving it, but I think we have, I've seen this picture before, so it must be on the wall or something. Right? Is there a bigger version of this somewhere?
I don't remember.
Okay, and then here's the adults at the time. So we have Ray, Dorothy, Jim, Bud, Mom, Vic, George, Pete, in the bottom, Jeannie, Dorothy, Jim, and Anita. Did I get that right?
Yeah, we always had two Dorothys.
Yeah. That's a nice picture.
Two
Those were the
Lindas.
days, my friend.
Two
We didn't have
Lindas.
two Lindas. We didn't have two
got-
Lindas till Jim got married.
Yeah, but I say we have two
Oh,
Lindas.
yeah. Two Marys, two Jims.
I don't know whose wedding this was.
Oh, Suzette, right?
Yep.
Suzette. In a basket. By the TV that we would all sit around and watch in the living room. Bonanza.
Yeah.
This is such a nice picture.
Somebody's wedding.
Look at that picture. Look at those two cutie pies.
I don't know whose wedding that was.
Let's see if it's got a year. Doesn't. No year, so we don't know. Picture of Grandma.
Yeah, I don't care for that picture that much. But
No, because she's smiling, but it almost looks like she's grimacing. What does that say? Griddler.
St. Domitilla Church, Hillside, Illinois. Oh, she had this picture taken for the parish.
Oh, okay. What is this a picture of?
That's this yard over here that's not a yard anymore. Was the driveway. Remember we had
So the side yard where
we had a parking lot there.
Mm-hmm.
Grandpa had made it, I kept it. It's a flower garden, but it's shaped like a star.
And this has a lily right in
And
the
I
middle
put
of
the
it.
Easter lily in the middle of it, and it bloomed in July. Wow. And I think I was living in Turkey then, and Grandma sent that to me.
You can kind of tell that shape. That's very cool. And it looks like they're all white, but it's hard to know. But that does, you know, it is a color picture. Okay, this looks like some party.
That's Aunt Jean and Uncle Lee's 35th wedding anniversary. It's held at Jack and Betty's house in their basement. They had a bar in their basement.
And that's Grandma and Uncle Ray, and that looks like my dad's standing up. Who's in the back? Is that Jack, maybe? Who's by the fireplace?
It could be Jack. I think that's Uncle Bud in the front. I'm not sure.
I don't think so. That looks like, I think that's my dad.
Okay. I wouldn't argue with you because I don't remember. And as I said, it was a long time ago. Aunt Jean and their 35th wedding anniversary.
Aunt Jean always looks so good. And she always looks good in pictures, too.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't seen any young pictures of her. Was she pretty?
Kind of.
She's just very put together always. Aww.
That's Uncle
Two
Bud.
favorite brothers. They just loved each other, these two. Oh.
We went to a wedding in Midlothian.
Should keep putting this picture up whenever you tell the stories of you and Uncle Bud. Look at how big you are compared to him.
Yeah. Went to a wedding in Midlothian. Grandpa had a cousin, their name was Miller. And so we went, Ed and Irma Miller, we went down, Bud and I. Dad was already dead and Mom was too old to go, so.
Do you know who these people are you're pictured with here?
Some shirt-tail relatives. I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing. I wasn't sitting next to Uncle Bud.
No, I just showed, you were like, you're over there, I'm over here. And what's this a picture of? The middle one here?
Right? Is it the flagpole?
Is it when the flagpole was maybe first put up? No, I see the fence.
No, the flagpole was put up in 1941.
Right? Isn't this the pool fence?
It is. I guess it's
It gives us a clue.
I guess it's a picture of the tree.
It's a picture of the tree. However, we see
Remember, we had
that
these.
the flagpole was up and that the pool fence was up. So this would have been
Remember
before
we had
the
those-
Broses. This would have been in the
Oh,
Broses'
yeah.
backyard.
Yeah, but that was not even the dream yet.
Oh, this is when you said there were trees behind the pool.
Yes, there's evergreen trees. Remember, we had those
Yep.
evergreen trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that looks like a maple that that picture is.
Mm-hmm.
So that may have had to get cut down.
Well, that's the trees died.
What's this?
That's this toboggan slide that Grandpa built. That's up in the front by the hedge. He put 50-gallon drums up there, piled snow on them, carried water, and sprayed it, and made it go all the way to the backyard.
That's pretty cool.
And Grandpa said, whatever you do not go down the toboggan slide with ice skates on. And guess who did that? Uncle Vic. And he went to get
Troublemaker.
Went to get up from the kitchen table one night after supper, and he couldn't stand up.
Who's on the toboggan? Whose face is that?
Oh, I don't know. The kids. Well, we didn't have neighbors. It was just us.
I know. I'm just trying to figure out which one.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Whoever was about to go down the hill.
Yeah, somebody's on the sled.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I don't know.
1, 2, 3. There was only 6.
That was a lot of work for him to do, you know?
He did a lot of stuff like that. He was a family man. This is 1949.
Oh yeah, that's out in front of the house. You see how high the hedge was there?
Oh, yeah.
I used to stand on
Oh, wow.
on an orange crate to cut it.
So this is on the inside of the yard with the hedge
On
behind
the
it.
outside by the sidewalk. We're standing on the sidewalk.
But you're not seeing the house in the background.
No, it's this yard right here.
Oh, okay. This is where the pool would eventually be
Yeah,
behind
right,
them.
yeah.
Okay.
That's a pretty picture of Grandma.
Yeah, we love this picture of Grandma. And what is this?
Grandma and Grandpa. My mother.
Grandma Smith and Mom.
Mm-hmm.
See if we can see that. It might be. It's a little bit blurry. This is with Grandma in her little sailor suit.
Yeah. And then this is Crawling Stone Lake.
Ah, okay. And this says it is from November of 1940. And
That's
that
about the time.
is the cabin.
That's about the time that they bought that.
Wow. And who originally bought it?
It belonged to the Johnson family. And they married into the Indian tribe. And
Let's see.
so they had it.
On here.
And then they sold it to Jake and Pearl. They got it because the girl was an Indian, and she could get that land. And so then Jake and Pearl bought it, and Jake was a real idiot. Honest to God, he's my mother's brother, but he was a jerk. That's all sand, and he dug a hole under that house and put an oil furnace in it. And the sand dried out and came down, and you couldn't close the door in the house. Everything was falling apart.
I feel like when the Broses bought it, that's when you guys had to fix all
That's
that,
when I
right?
fixed it all. I went up there and I worked. I was up there from April until November by myself. You know, you people came up there, but basically I was there alone. And the things the man did. There was a trap door that opened like this, and you went down the stairs under the house to the basement. Well, he took parts of a stove, panels from a stove, and you know when the sand is damp, you can like mold it. So he molded, and he put the enamel stove part, and then he put cement blocks on it. Well, it all dried out and caved in. I mean, the man was weird. Jake was weird.
So this was Jake, and when he bought that, he was like, did he have this? He had ended up with one kid or a couple?
He had 3 kids.
Okay, so he had 3 kids. Did he already have his kids at this time and
Yeah.
everything?
But his kids hated it up there because there's a resort next door.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't play with any of the kids next door. Jake didn't allow it.
Sunset Point Resort when I was a kid.
Yeah, Sunset Bay.
Sunset Bay.
Jake was typical mafia. His kids couldn't have friends. Lois's
He
job.
was mafia or he acted like mafia?
He was kind of mafia. Everybody he knew went to jail except Jake.
Interesting.
Lois, his only girl, she could walk to Route 70 to get the mail. That's all she could do every day. And read books
Oh my God. How long would they stay up there?
all summer long.
Oh, jeez.
And Dick and your dad were very close for a long time. And they had a speedboat. And they used to go surfboarding. Instead of water skiing, they had a board that you rode on.
Not surfboarding. It was. Oh, there's a name for that. Because it was like skiing. You're holding the. It's attached to the boat.
Yeah.
And you
hang on and the
ski boarding or something
Yeah.
like that.
Well, anyways.
I remember that the first year that we went up there, it was still.
Yeah. They had a Gar Wood. It was a beautiful boat.
Mm-hmm.
And but it didn't get taken care of after Jake and Pearl gave it to Dorothy and Ray. I mean, everything went to shit because was falling apart. Everything was falling apart. Jake had died, and Pearl was going up there by herself. She liked the air up there. the clean air. And so she'd go up there. She'd try to coax one of her grandkids to come and stay with her periodically throughout the summer because she was alone. She was funny, Aunt Pearl. She really was. Hey, Pearl, you want to go to town? Gonna get pie and coffee? Yeah, gonna get pie and coffee. Pearl's going, you know.
Well, I know when we went up there when I was a kid, so it had to be in the early 70s. We went up there maybe 3 years in a row, always around 4th of July. But the first year we went, they had gotten the speedboat going and they had the board, and we did that. But the next year, someone had gotten skis. So then we did water skiing on that boat. But I don't know if the boat was still functional the last year I was there or not. Or if I'm mixing up the year, when it was what. But I know that we did, there was just the board, and it was very old. It had been used for a long time. And then later they did.
There was a kid
skis.
who used to stay at the first cabin on the Sunset Bay thing there.
Right, that's where we stayed.
And can't think of what his name was. And his parents rented the cabin. And he was up there one summer, and I was up there working, and he came over one day and said, "You want to go water skiing?" I said, "I've never been water skiing in my life." He said, "Well, it's never too late to learn." Got on the water skis, went all around that lake, never fell down. Just, and it's the only time I ever water skied.
I loved it, and it was easy for me, but I had my father driving the boat.
Yeah.
You know my dad. As soon as he saw that I was competent at it, he starts cracking the whip and shit.
Yeah.
So he's got me on the skis, first time I'm out, right? And I'm next to the boat. I'm side by side with the boat, outside of the wake, right? And anybody who's ever water skied, you're in the wake, it's calm.
He tells the story
He'd whip
about
you outside of the wake. Now you're in the choppy water and shit. And then I'd start falling down and getting water up my nose and everything. And once you start falling down, it's all over.
Yeah.
You keep falling down.
He and Dick used to take turns driving the boat, and the other one would go on the board. And he tells the story about towards, I don't know, when you go out on the pier towards the right, he fell off. And he thought he was going to drown. And he didn't realize that there was a sandbar there, and all he had to do was stand up.
Oh, that's right, there was. You go out a little ways, and then there was a sandbar.
Yeah. Jake did one smart thing. He had, in the wintertime, when the lake was frozen, he had truckloads of sand delivered out on the ice and dumped, so that when the ice melted, it all went to the bottom of the lake, which is why you had such a sandy beach there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we are over an hour. We're just over an hour. We probably should wrap that up.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to break it up. I'd like to leave it in one piece since we've got a whole. We went through an album. So next time, let's pull a different album.
Yeah,
That
we have an album called the Family Album,
Okay.
which is all of our Army pictures and graduation pictures, the portraits.
What do you call this album? Because I'm gonna also do still photos of this.
It's just a family album that we just. Jeannie,
It's a little bit mix and match, and it's the
Yeah.
blue. It's the
Jeannie-
small blue album.
Jeannie put this together. She
Okay.
did this.
So the Jeannie small blue album that's not in chronological order.
Yeah.
But what I'll do is we'll do them on the video, but I'll also take some stills and make them available for people because I think it's hard to just see on the video, but by the video you can see who everybody is. And
Yeah.
I'm never going to take the time to write all the shit on them. I'll just take pictures and make it into an album that I can post.
Yeah. Right.
Okay,
It's here.
that's for
And
today.
then there are 7 albums of family picnic pictures.
Okay, that's going to be cool.
They're all colored pictures.
Okay. But the family album we'll do next.
Yeah,
One we're
that's
calling the family
It's
album.
like Aunt Dorothy's nursing picture when her uniform,
nice.
you know,
Okay.
and the kids, everybody's high school picture. My military picture. There's a picture of me in there that does not like anybody else's. It was taken in the parish, and it's kind of a nice picture.
Okay.
I think.
We'll talk about it when we're in the family
We'll put it.
album.
You can put it up in my funeral.
So while we're looking at Uncle George's pictures, we'll be planning his funeral.
Yeah, his demise.
Yes, we'll work on that.
Then at the top of that album, but that thing in the corner there in the top, those are things that since I lived here, I just started buying these little bitty albums, and I would take pictures and I would just put them in there. Sometimes I'd write down what year it was, and sometimes I wouldn't.
Well, I know when Grandma was still alive, Joe and I would come and visit her once in a while, and there was one time when we came here and she was going through a box of photos.
Yeah.
Is that box still around, or is that what
That's
Aunt
what's
Jeannie
in
was
here.
putting into the? Okay, that's great, because I was always like, oh my God, that was.
What we
and
did,
she was just starting to forget who some of the people
yeah,
were.
we were going through them, she and I, and we left them on the dining room table. And wherever we stopped, that's where we started up the next time.
All right, well, that's good.
And
'cause
I remember,
it was in
I
like
said to
early
her,
80.
it was a big box full of just loose. She had photo albums, but she got all these kids. Well, they take everything apart, you know that. So she was going, and I said to her, Mom,
Like you see all kinds of blank pages. Somebody took shit out of there and didn't put it back.
I said to her, tell me, we're going to go through these, Mom, and if you don't know who they are, I'm throwing them out. Because if you don't know, I'm not going to know. So we were going through them, and that's when she stopped one day. And there was a picture of my dad. God, she was just so in love with that man. He must have been some really odd piece of ass. I don't know. But anyway, she said, wasn't he a handsome man? And I said, yeah. He really was. He was really a handsome guy. And I remember when Sandy was getting engaged to Sully, she called Grandma, and she wanted to know, how do you know if it's the right one? And Grandma said to her, I don't know. I just knew. She said, your grandpa looked at me and I looked at him and we knew. And they got married, 2 days later. So, God, I'm itching here.
Some of us weren't
Gotta
so
put
lucky.
some calamine lotion on this.
Okay, and that's the end for
That's the
today.
end for today.
Signing off.